We gotta compare fart noises.
Yeah.
Remember that fart noise? Well, good morning. So I cleaned up all the battery terminals, all the battery cables. APU is still like really sluggish to start, so we pulled the cover off here. And I don't know if you guys remember, a long time ago this alternator seized up and I broke it loose and I never replaced it. Well, it's seized again. So that is slowing the turn of the belt enough to not want to let this thing start. So I'm hoping this is an alternator I can get at an auto parts store. We can get this thing swapped out, because that's a bummer. I still haven't checked on the inverter. Oh, this is our main priority right here. I wanted to make sure we get this thing fixed first. So I'm gonna get this alternator pulled off. I'm gonna see if there's some numbers on here I can find, and then maybe an auto part store has this thing in stock somewhere. I mean, this is basically just a Kubota tractor. I know everybody wants to talk about green APU. You can just walk into a store and you can buy parts for it. The green APU uses the same motor as this Kubota motor. So basically it's just a tractor. If you can get tractor parts, you can get APU parts. Now I don't know about all the other APUs on the market, but I know this one right here has the Kubota motor on it. So let me get this thing pulled off. Show them how hard it is to turn it, baby. Spin it. Spin it.
Oh, but I can't.
Come on, spin it.
I for real can't.
Really?
Yeah.
Right. Remember I kept saying I kept hearing like a metallic noise from the APU?
Yeah. It's fucked.
Yeah, she's a dunner. Well, here's some numbers here. Maybe this will help. Made in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Let's go find this thing. So turns out our inverter's bad. We've got a alternator ordered for the APU. Like, what's the chances of both of them going out at the same time? So while we're waiting on that to come in, I'm out here messing with the Ansel computer that they sent me. Still trying to figure out why we're only making like 23 pounds of boost. I'll show you guys. You can do an injector test on this thing too. So I've already got the program opened up and I got the truck running, and you can go in and you can shut off each cylinder at a time. But you can see like it's showing me my engine load right now with it running, the fuel quantity. Like when I rev it up, you can see it's going up, and it's going up on all cylinders. Let's see what happens if we shut one off. I guess that shuts it off. Command status off. Oh. See how it's running? Because it shut the injector off. So I guess when you hit on is when it turns it off. We'll hit it off. Yeah, see, now we're running smooth again. So we'll go back. This is cylinder 1. And then we'll hit on. which I guess on means that it's turning that injector off. Oh, see, now we're idling funny again. So we'll turn it back on. And what I'm looking for is the engine gonna run basically the same after we turn an injector off. So we'll go to cylinder 3. We'll go on. Oh, see? That's cylinder 3. We'll go cylinder 4. Oh, yep. Basically, I was on some forums, and some forums were saying that it could be a bad injector. It's like, how many injectors do I have to go through on this truck? But I'm turning these injectors on and off, and they all seem to be working. That was cylinder 5. We've got one more cylinder to test here. Yep, see, they're all working. Because obviously, if I'm not making full boost, the pressure has to be going somewhere. Or it says I can activate my fan clutch with this thing too. I don't know. I mean, the truck did fine with the 20,000 pound load that I had on here, but honestly, 20,000 pounds isn't much. I don't want to get. I was hoping that load would actually be 40,000 pounds. And cylinder balance test, I'm not sure what that does. We're just playing around with this thing. This test shows if there's any injectors that differ in the fuel injection that could affect the engine characteristics. Here, let me turn this around. This test shows if there's any injectors that differ in the fuel injection that could affect the engine characteristics, plus compensation implies that the injector gives too little fuel to the cylinder. The injection time increases for the injector that gives too little fuel to give a steady idle RPM. Increase for an injector gives too much fuel to give a steady idle. Check that the engine speed is stable and within the permitted engine speed. Must be 158. I don't think we're quite there because I just started the truck up. I guess I could see what we're actually running here. View temp gauges. Okay, so we're at 140 right now. So we'll let this thing warm up a little bit. Maybe I'll go ahead and high idle it here. We'll get this thing warmed up. And we'll run this test here. I wonder why cylinder 2 is negative 31. test completed. That's kind of strange, that, oh, that negative 30. So I seen an option in here too, where we can reset the cylinder balancing values. We'll reset them and see what it does now. Reset. I'll see now cylinder 2 is only -6. We'll let it run its test. We'll see what happens here. So now it's only at -14, which is a big difference. But I wonder why. Now it did say before I started this that this wouldn't mean that it was a bad injector. See if I can get back to that. Cylinder balancing test. A cylinder that is negatively compensated should be investigated. When a cylinder is compensated by more than 80%, red bar, in relation to the other cylinders, implies that there is something wrong with the cylinder in question. Alright, so we're not up into the 80%. This does not necessarily mean that there is a problem with the injector. For an accurate evaluation, it is necessary to conduct the test for cylinder compression and injector cutout when a problem is indicated in the cylinder balance test. We'll run one more test here. We'll see if that number 2 goes somewhere. See, it's at -21. See, it's just slowly taken away. Alright, I think what we're going to do is we're going to stick the old intercooler on there. Maybe this new intercooler, I don't know, has some plastic in there and it's blocking the boost or something somehow. That's the only thing I know to do, is to just stick the old intercooler back on. I mean, I guess I could just do it right here. I don't have to do it in the driveway.
I would do it in the driveway. I would just move the truck.
Then I have to disconnect from the trailer and all. Maybe I'll just do it here. I mean, it's 2 bolts here. It's disconnecting this hose. 2 bolts here, 2 bolts over there, and disconnecting the hoses on each side. And I'll just take this, actually, I don't even have to take that off. Actually, maybe I'll take that off so I can swing it out and get it out of there. I'm just going to do that. Because I'd like to keep the trailer hooked up to it to see if, like, maybe we're actually making 40 pounds of boost. All right. Got the old new intercooler out. This is the original here. Good thing I don't throw anything away, huh? So what I want to do is I want to hook the air compressor up to it, and I want to see if there's a noticeable difference from the air going in the inside coming out the outside of the old one compared to the new one. Like, I'm kind of thinking maybe there's something blocking in here, like some plastic or something, or something. I mean, I don't feel anything to that point. Maybe you can reach in there and see if you feel anything, but it just doesn't make any sense where we would put a new intercooler on and now we're down on boost.
The hard part's getting in.
Isn't it always? And then the next 30 years.
I wish I had a camera I could send down in there.
I don't know what's supposed to be in here.
Well, let's hook this air compressor up.
I mean, that looks straight now.
We gotta compare fart noises.
Yeah.
Remember that fart noise? I think I might be using the wrong size here. I think I just stripped this out.
That sucks.
If this thing isn't spun exactly right, then the bolt doesn't go in there. And it'll just spin on you for no reason at all.
Huh.
Is it recording?
Yep.
Feels like the same amount of air, man. Obviously, it's not like 40 pounds of boost, so I say we still stick the old one in and see what happens.
Okay.
You know, it is allowing 23 pounds of boost through. I don't know. Well, the old intercooler did not fix the problem. So someone mentioned on a form to check the intake air heater, or the intake air heater, which I believe is this part right here, that it might be clogged. So I'm probably going to take all this apart right here and see if this right here, I think that's it, is clogged. All right, so I thought this was what they call a intake heater, but all the pictures I seen, it had a bunch of coils in here, and a lot of people say this gets all like gucked up and it could prevent air passing through. Mine doesn't have that. But I remember when I took this thing to the shop down in Florida, the guy said, I seen that this truck has two boost sensors. And I didn't believe him until I just found there's another boost sensor. So you have one that sits back here on the intake, and then you have one that sits up here on the intake. I replaced the one that was up here, but there's one that's back here that I didn't know about. And you guys seen me, I cleaned the other one. You can see this one's really bad. I mean, that's really, really bad. So we're gonna order another sensor. Man, I bet you this is it.
That would be nice.
But now I have all this tore down. So now I have to clean up all this, put all this back together. But it is 1,000 million degrees out here, so I might go inside and let this cool off a little bit. I mean, even the motor's hot because we just got back from driving it. So not only are we dealing with the sun melting us, we're dealing with the motor melting us. All right, we've got, you know what I did? You know what I did. I jumped on the old Googler, and we got some parts coming for this thing. So I'm gonna go ahead and put, now that it's cooled off, I went and got Nate. Nate's here again. I'm gonna put all these parts back together. And we're gonna wait on that other boost sensor to come in. Oh, I've got to get my shop vac because some of this material fell down inside this throat, and I don't want it to get sucked into the engine. So I'm gonna grab my shop vac. I'm gonna shop vac this out, clean up this gasket thing real good, smash all this back together. I'm gonna put the new intercooler back in because obviously this wasn't the case. How weird is that though, that like everything happened all at once? Like as soon as we replaced the boost, we fixed the boost leak, that sensor decided to go out. And then we decided to take the truck out, and then the alternator locks up and the inverter went out. So we got a new inverter coming. We've got the alternator coming. I also, it's not very bright in the truck. So I've got and I don't know if you guys can tell, but some of these lights get so hot, they're starting to melt this plastic. So I ordered all LED bulbs to go in here to kind of brighten this up. That's why that light's missing the cover, because we pulled the bulb out to see what bulb it takes. Yeah. So that's pretty much it. I've got a mess out here I got to clean up. I want to get this thing back together as much as possible, because I know if I leave these bolts laying around, I don't know if I told you guys or not either, one of these bolts was messed up on this alternator. So I always carry these with me if I can find them. It's a set I bought a long time ago that if you ever have a nut or a bolt or something that gets rounded off, this basically, if I can figure out how to open it, these basically just cut into the nut, and you put a socket on it or a ratchet on here, or you can put a socket on this bigger piece. Anyways, that goes on the nut, and as you twist this to loosen up whatever you're trying to loosen up, these dig into the nut or the bolt. So I'm gonna have to get a new bolt for that, because whoever was doing something here messed that up. So I don't think it was me. I've never taken that bolt out. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it wasn't me. Anyways, let me get this intercooler swapped back out again, and we'll get this thing buttoned up as much as we can. And see, we got bolts everywhere. I was trying to come out here and do all this without Lita knowing about it, but I bet she's coming. Look at her. Jerk. I don't need your help, woman. You stay in there and you eat your pizza and edit a video. All right, let me get this thing back together. All right, we got it all back together again with the new intercooler. Oh, I just noticed I didn't tighten these up. But what we're gonna do is I went ahead and cleaned up the sensors with some brake parts cleaner, real nice, and I want to take it down the road and see if that fixes it. If that fixes it, we're still going to replace them with the new ones. If it doesn't fix it, I probably won't sleep until the new ones come in. So anyways, I got to tighten these down. I just remembered that. I'm glad I pulled this phone out, because let me tighten those down. We're going to go for a ride. Well, just got back from a test drive, and the truck is fixed. Can you believe it? It was like a $12 pressure sensor that I didn't know about. So when you look up the pressure sensors on these trucks, they only talk about the one that's up on this elbow. And so we replaced that one, but there's two. There's one further back on the intake that I showed you guys earlier. And I went ahead and ordered two new ones. I replaced them both. I mean, who knows? Maybe that new one that we put on up front had something to do with it too. But I ordered two new ones. And we're making 32 pounds of boost.
Oh, yeah?
I'm pretty sure it's fixed. I bet if we put a load on this thing.
Did it start hard?
It didn't start the greatest. Yeah, that's another thing. The truck's not really been starting that great. So, I don't know. But it's fixed. 32 pounds. 40 easily with some weight on this thing. Yeah, and I think they were $12 a piece.
Now you know there's two.
Yeah. I mean, the internet doesn't tell you anything about there being two. And then the guy that we did the tractors for, that we picked up in New York going to Wisconsin, he's got another load for us. So hopefully that'll be ready like Tuesday-ish, and we can roll out of here. I'll probably look for like a quick little local run for Monday, Tuesday. Depends on. He said he's not in a big hurry, but the tractors won't be ready for Monday. So I don't know. That's great. Truck's fixed. We got a load coming up. Man, I'm excited. What a nightmare. I'm just now working on the video where it was the hour-plus long video of us working on this thing. So thanks for any suggestions you guys gave us. I haven't read them yet. I did go live, and I might have made an Instagram post. I don't remember if I asked. I don't know if I asked. But all right, let me get this mess cleaned up.